Welcome back to this weekend Showdown. Welcome back, everybody. We got Gula in the house and your boy Bob. And no Jeff, but again, we're going to try to get Jeff for the last week of the season. We got to make it happen because everyone wants Jeff. And it is the last week. Jeff. We have one more week. This is week 25. We got one more week for week 26. And that's it, 26 weeks of the season. So we did one every week. So it's crazy, but again, the only reason we can do this every week and show you guys is because the Showdown Card Bot that Matt runs, and you can visit at showdownbot.com or at MLB Showdown Bot on Twitter. He's always posting new cards and hot players like the Yankees and the Red Sox has been crazy. He's posting cards about that and all sorts of fun stuff. So thank you again, Matt. Quick question was asked by one of our people in the Discord. If you guys aren't part of the Discord, there's a link below, and he had asked if, because he's a big shred card fan, if the original set does the closer bonus, which gives him like a 30-point bump for like during the OO. I think it kind of went away in 01, but does the bot take that into account, or does it leave it clean?
In 00, it will give the closer bonus. So if you click on, in the new update as of like a month ago, you click on, there's a couple tabs when you create a card, and the points tab will give you a breakdown of all the sections of what makes up the points. And you'll see if you do an 00 closer, you'll see a section called bonus. And so then it'll give that, I think the bot gives it, might be exactly 30 or 30 and change maybe.
We calculated it back in the day to be a roughly 30-point increase, but I never knew.
It's around there.
So, but not in 01.
Not in 01. I do some very slight, like maybe a 2% difference for reliever versus closer, like a tiny bit, but it's based on what I've seen. It doesn't exist in 01. I could be wrong. I'm not, an expert, but.
Yeah, and so the reason it came up is everyone at home, we just did a 2000 draft, and I didn't take a single closer because I wasn't going to waste any points. And a guy, rightfully so, brought up the fact, he's like, that shouldn't be the case. Like, we shouldn't be drafting players because, this guy's a closer bonus and it's a kind of worthless salary. We should be drafting the players because they're good, and the strategy cards did incorporate that into the game. There was things for closers and stuff. And so I was like, well, I think going forward, obviously, if we just use 01 as our bot default for our leagues and stuff like that, it sort of eliminates that worry. And there was other issues with, like, pitchers with home runs are very undervalued, again, because strategy cards sort of helped or hurt those kind of pitchers, and it doesn't hurt them in our type of game. So very interesting comparisons. But I'm glad they were brought up, and I'm glad I was able to ask you that question. Now let's just jump right into this week in Showdown. Player number 1. Oh my gosh, the Cardinals can't stop winning, and so they pretty much run the Showdown. They run the This Week in Showdown this week. But Harrison Bader comes up as an A speed 7. I mean, this card's pretty cool. It's like a Chris Singleton type card from the 00 set, but the plus fielding here. Lots of power on the chart. The 15 double, 7A speed for 270. Feels really nice. I hate 7 on bases, but I would take probably this card.
Yeah, this one, I mean, all around, nice. Not a lot of walks. Always love that. Speed, defense. And Harrison Bader's like, I don't know if he's been, I haven't looked at his actual numbers, but assuming he's like around for the 7 on base, like a 320 on base percentage. Not crazy high slugging, but like, I mean, this is just a solid card. I don't know if 270, like I'm trying to think if 270 is right, but I mean, you get everything. This is like just a solid.
It's low
outs,
some
defense
too.
in the outfield. Yeah,
and that feels really nice. I don't know what the right number is, but 270 feels pretty nice. I know like Darren Lewis back in the day was like 140 for the 00 version of a similar type card with like nowhere near the power of this card. And I'm thinking of like Chris Singleton, but I thought he was like 320. But again, this is 00 that I'm thinking of. And so I feel like this is a pretty good steal. So maybe people will agree at home. But let's see what he did for the week as I bring it up really quickly. Because again, the Cardinals have been on absolute fire. He has 3 home runs, again, all in the past 3 days, actually. 6 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and 10 runs. Has a 548 OBP for the week. And again, this just keeps continuing as we move on to Paul Goldschmidt. Oh, look, another Cardinal. He has 5 home runs this week, 11 RBIs, 10 runs. Again, the Cardinals are getting it done. They're pretty much going to be locked in here for the playoffs, which obviously I was hoping the Padres were going to make it. I actually was kind of secretly hoping for the Reds as like a low team to make it, but apparently the Cardinals, if you win that many games in a row, what is it right now? Is it 16? 16?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the Indians won like 20 something the other year, but when you get 16 games in a row, you'll slide very quickly up into the playoff bracket. Obviously, you still have a long way to go to catch the crazy teams, and obviously the Brewers just clinched it. But better late than never for the Cardinals, so we'll see what they can do for the wildcard game, which I think is probably going to be against the Dodgers, but we never know in that division either. But what do you think about this Goldschmidt card? It's not too much different than we just saw it recently.
No, it was different. Like he was having kind of a meh year. Like I think there was one early on we had.
I thought it was like 2 weeks ago, wasn't there?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely better than 2 weeks ago, I think. Mm-hmm. I'd have to look back, but I've been surprised because he's now creeped up in like MVP discussions I've seen.
I don't want to put him
I don't
that
know
far.
if,
Oh, he was last week.
I agree.
He was in here last week as an 8 on base and 270. So now he's a 9 on base, 350.
Point jump.
Yeah, that's a huge
jump.
That's
pretty nuts. That might be the biggest jump we've had. Yeah, 80 points in 1 week. I mean,
that's just increasing your on base percentage like that because just statistics. Yeah. Well, they'll sort of shift, but I mean, getting that 9 on base is very nice.
Yeah, he's like, it's weird because the other MVP guys. The reason why I think people had brought up is because if the Phillies don't make the playoffs, and Harper won't get it, if the Nationals obviously not going to make the playoffs, so Soto.
I would still give it to Soto. He's so damn good.
I agree. He's having like an all-time second half. I would give it to him. But people like the old school guys that vote based on like the winning of the team will like Goldschmidt.
I tried to bring
those guys are left.
Well, that's what I tried to bring this up in a conversation on the Discord about Vlad Guerrero. If the Blue Jays snuck in, I wonder if Vlad Guerrero would beat our Shohei Ohtani. And I said if they shut Shohei Ohtani down for the rest of the year for pitching, his batting is okay. I mean, he's definitely up there in home runs, but if he's not the home run leader and the Blue Jays make the playoffs, I could see Vlad getting it. And then what I didn't realize is they weren't shutting Shohei down, and he continued to pitch, and he still continued to pitch amazing. And so now, and I think the Blue Jays I mean, they still could make it, but I'm like, with the pitching stats that Shohei's doing, I'm like, I'm gonna eat my shorts on this one. It's gonna probably end up being Shohei. Though I love Shohei, don't get me wrong, but like I was like, there is an argument for Vlad.
Yeah, I agree, and it's tough. I don't know how I feel about the whole vote based on winning of teams because it's baseball, you know. So
I don't either.
You can't really do that.
I don't either. But Vlad I think is a great player. Seeing that Shohei is going to finish the season with these starts that he just had, and he's still going to be hitting, I think he's going to easily beat Vlad out. So I'm going to eat my shorts on that one. But I was the only one opposed to it, so I don't mind arguing with people. That's for sure. So let's quickly slide over to, oh my gosh, another Cardinal. We got Tyler ONeill, Mr. Jack and Tatted himself. The 8 A speed plus fielding with 16 power for 410. Now, we were talking in the Discord a little bit about what's his face for the Yankees, Joey Gallo. Who's an 8 B speed plus fielding with basically only home run, strikeout, and walk. But he was like 280. I kind of don't mind that 280 Joey Gallo. But, I mean, Harrison Bader's pretty nice, too. He was player of the week last week, and he had 17 home runs on his chart, and he was 360. So now he jumps up to a 16 home run at 410. So
these
back-to-back
Cardinals are just jumping like crazy. It's nuts. I mean, this card is pretty wild. I would not have predicted that Tyler ONeill would have a card that looks like this.
He had 4 more home runs. He has 11 RBIs this week, 8 runs. So that's all, including what he did last week. Now, I used to have him in fantasy, but he's so flaky, I couldn't keep him. Mm-hmm. But when the Cardinals win 16, what are you going to do? I mean, somebody's producing those 16 wins, and apparently this big core here of really, I think, Paul Goldschmidt and Tyler ONeill, but obviously everyone's producing. Ozzy's producing, and everyone's hitting the ball. I mean, geez Louise. I think there's 3 repeats this week from last week because of the 16 games in a row. But, I mean, the
Cardinals are nuts. Like,
this card's awesome.
Yeah, I don't even think there's a comp I'm trying to think of a comp in the 2001 set, and I'm looking through, and I can't really find it. Like, he's kind of Sosa-esque. Sosa was a little better, obviously, but
Yeah, he was about a 9 on base and was he a 16
yeah.
home run? Can't remember.
Yep, 9 on base,
But he was
16 homer.
B
Doesn't have
speed.
defense. He's B speed with no defense. But there's a Jeff Jenkins. You remember him?
Oh yeah,
and I was at a Brewers game. Yeah, I was at a Brewers game on Saturday, and he was like on the video board, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know that man.
Peter's a big Brewers fan, and he
legend.
loves him. And he was my number 1 draft pick in 2000, the 2000 TTS league. I drafted Jeff Jenkins number 1. He's got a great card in 2000.
I love that.
So
yeah. his 01 card pretty similar to this ONeill. 8 on base, 4 outs, 17 homer, better chart overall besides the homer.
Mm-hmm.
But you get less defense for 380. So 30 less points, less home runs, but a triple and a little better of a chart.
Speed?
A speed.
Oh man, that's a very good comparable pick.
30 less points. Yeah, it's like it's kind of a tough choice if you want to go the homers, or it's not like that much better of a chart, but he's got less walks, triple, and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean,
that's a really interesting pick.
Decent. Yeah.
Next up, Austin Riley also tearing it up. I did not think, if you had told me this before the season, Austin Riley would have 32 homers and 100 RBIs, I would have said no way. And he's batting 300, like 303. I would have thought that was not going to happen. But here he is. He had 3 homers this week, 11 more RBIs, 7 runs. I mean, he's a 9 on base with +3 at third. Again, big strikeout range here. But it's a pretty good card for 410.
Yeah. I mean, he's very Chipper-esque,
ironically, that's a good
for the
comparison.
Braves. Like, weirdly similar. You ready for the comparison here?
Yeah.
Chipper's got less outs, so 9 on base, 3 outs, 18 home run, 16, 17 double, 10 to 15 single, but he's got a single plus in there, so almost identical. But then, yeah, he's got less outs, and then B speed same, but less defense. So you're getting more defense with Riley for 10 more points, though. Chipper's 400. More defense from Riley, but less on base percentage because he's got 5 outs. That 5 outs is not
Is Chipper
great,
410 as
but,
well?
He's 400, so he's 10 less points, worse defense, but better on base percentage and a slightly better chart. So it's kind of tough. I mean, versatility wise, though, you get first base +1.
Yeah,
that's tough that you get the versatility. Yeah.
This card also looks really sweet with the blue.
Depends.
With the blue jerseys here. I'm having a tough time. I'm making the 96 set, as people know at home. And a lot of these cards in 96, they don't have good pictures. The pictures I find, they'll be wearing like the same color as the background. So like I'm doing the Royals right now, and they're all the blue. That's the exact blue background. And it doesn't have the same pop that some of these cards have. Like you have the gray jerseys with the Cardinals, and they pop really nice on the red background. And now this blue really jumps off the page. So I just want to commend you on that, because I think that is a
you got it. Here's a little.
Art.
I mean, quick tip here for your backgrounds. You'll see on the next guy.
Okay.
Make it a little darker than the team color.
Are you telling me that the background is not the exact team Pantone that it should be?
Nope.
Blasphemy! Blasphemy!
Be, that's that you'll notice. That
there you go.
Original 01 set, not in the 00s, but in the 01s. That's my little tip for you. Make the team backgrounds just a hair, like add a little bit of darkness to it, and that's what'll get it to match. That's
really nice, and that's good advice for anybody making cards at home. Darren Fletcher goes 1 for 21, really hurting his card. I mean, it's really kind of an undraftable card, except for the fact that he's very plus fielding. So +5 at shortstop, +4 at second base for 130. I don't like the giant amount of singles here, but it's not like unusable. I don't think I'm looking at this kind of card, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's some, again, comparing to the original set, there's some guys that are kind of similar with maybe a little more speed, but they can only play second base, right? He can play 2 positions, give you elite defense. And I mean, it's a 7. It's not like it's a 6, right? I feel like that's a big difference.
That's very true.
But he can't. I mean, yeah, he can't.
The
do much
chart's pretty rough, and he's got the
advantage.
6 outs, which kind of sucks. Also, it looks like he's like striking out in this photo, which I thought was appropriate. But
yeah, he's like he's just weight forward there. I think this is a draftable guy. I think it's draftable just because of the flexibility, and you get the top of the line defense at 2 positions. That in itself, I feel like people like that.
Yeah. Well, we'll quickly get away from this card and go right to these hot pitchers. I believe it's Shane Baez, or is it Baez or Baz or?
I think Baz. I don't know. I didn't watch the broadcast.
Speaking as another pale guy, this guy's got some crazy eyes. But he has 2 starts, and he pitched this past week 10 innings, pitched 14 Ks, 2 wins. He only let up 2 runs in his first start against Toronto, and then shut up Miami the other day. So it's really hard to get the statistics here because he only has 2 starts coming in obviously late in the season. But this looks like freaking Tyler Glasnow's type of card, especially with the Rays. But got the home run on his chart because of the low sample size. So it's pretty funny. But 720 for a 5-inning pitcher, that's, what is this, a tier 0 card? Like, it's
a negative.
Oh, it's
I think it's
1?
like because it's 2 tiers.
Yep, it's 24.
2 tiers above Pedro, right?
Yep. So this is a -1 tier. I mean, which is odd. It's just a wild card.
This is a weird one. This is very Glasnow-esque, and because I think he's let up 2 home runs in 2 starts. Yeah. And if you have a high control, exactly. So it needs to get that slugging percentage from somewhere. So it's this is a weird card. This is a 1 through 6 pop-up. His pop-up.
Oh, that is also weird. That is very weird.
That's strange. I wouldn't take this. I don't care if it's a 6 control. I'd take Pedro Martinez 2 tiers down any day of the week.
This is over
this guy for
very strange
20
card.
less points.
The Tampa Bay Rays got him as the player being later from the Chris Archer trade to the Pirates. They got I think it was who was the outfield? Meadows. And then they got Glasnow, and then Shane Baez was the one that player to be named later. And so that looks like a great trade for the Rays. I mean, this is looking really good, especially if this is the kind of performance they're going to see from him. I mean, maybe not the home runs, but it is a fun little card, and I'm sure people will like it. Next up, we got Giovanni Gallegos. Again, showing up. I'm pretty sure, if I'm gonna double check here, that he was in last week's as well. And he was not. I think he might have been in the week.
Or 2 weeks ago?
The week 23. He was a 260-point reliever as a 6 control out through 16, and now he's a 5 control out through 17. So just a little bit of a shift there in the points. But he picks up 4 saves this week. Again, the Cardinals can't stop winning. So you're going to obviously get this kind of performance from your team, and this card again is ridiculous and will be highly sought after in drafts.
Yeah, this is there's the 1 5 control 17 Rob Nen that's 60 more points, but has almost same chart, but doesn't let up a double.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a no-brainer.
And Rob Nen gets drafted all the time.
Yeah, this one's criminal. This is underrated.
Criminal.
Yeah, easy draft.
Yes,
easy draft.
He is doing great, and I'm guessing even with 6 games left in the season, he'll probably not change much. But again, Paul Goldschmidt jumped up a whole on base. We never know. Kenley Jansen bringing in a 4 control 17 out with no doubles here. He picks up 2 saves this week, no earned runs. The Dodgers again are doing very well too. And so it's obviously beneficial for him. This is another pretty good card. I like the 417 out people. Obviously, I prefer the 517 out players. But, for 270 with no doubles, you got to decide. I'd probably take Giovanni, but Kenley Jensen's probably up there too. This is a pretty good card.
Yeah, think about it. I don't like that either of them. I like the big ground ball ranges. I love the 2 walks. It's just a switch of a walk. You're basically trading a walk for a control, right? For a tier.
Well, yeah, that walk came from a double though, which is a very big
Yeah,
point.
exactly. Which is, I'm with you though. I think I still take Giovanni instead, but I mean, I do like this.
Take
If
them
somebody
both.
drafts, yeah, exactly. Honestly, if I give 2 picks in a row, if it's a snake draft, give them both.
Yeah,
Why
I
not?
mean these look great. So I haven't checked recently on Hendricks and how Liam's doing because
Oh
he
yeah,
hasn't been Player of the Week. I'm gonna probably bring it up real quick here, see if I can slide it on
yeah.
screen. Um, Hendricks
Hopefully, no. I
2021.
think he didn't have a homer last time we checked, right?
He
I think
did
it went
not.
away.
Yeah,
I hope.
but I haven't seen him in a while because he hasn't made Player of the Week in a while. So we'll see what he is going to be doing here. So he's oh man, so he's a 5 control out through 18, and no walks, no
Hmm.
doubles. So the 19 or 20 are singles. Huge strikeout range, but he's 320. He is just like Billy Wagner, like just an absolute
Wow.
dominant card. He's the best, obviously
Wow.
the
So
best
five
closer.
can. Yeah. Wow. That's. I mean, yeah. That's a lot of good relievers.
Mm.
Honestly,
Oh yeah.
like a lot of good
So
options. Three
yeah.
twenty. You take that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's quickly move over to another closer. A lot of relievers made it this week. We got 3 saves and a hold from Paul. I'm guessing it's Sewald. Um,
It's
but
Seawald.
oh,
Seawald.
Seawald,
Yeah.
even better.
Hmm.
Another 270-point closer reliever, and he is a 6 control out through 16. So this is what Giovanni was a couple weeks ago, and basically the same tier as him, but now no doubles, right? So
Mm.
and this is a much bigger strikeout range and less ground balls, and that walk
Ah,
is an extra single, because now he's 3 singles
yeah.
on this chart. So it's a really interesting card. I still like I think Giovanni, but this is another good card at 270. There's a lot of good relievers in this pool.
Yeah. This used to be a former Met. That's why I know who Paul Seawald is. The Mets traded Classic some people to the Mariners, and now they're doing well.
Seems like a Mets thing to
It's
do.
it's very, yeah. It's a depressing time for us, but I kind of like the Seawald. I- I've had good experiences. At least I play more 0405 leagues, but I have a lot of good experience with the 6 control, 16 outs.
If there's no
I know
double,
that's going to
that's
eventually
where
bite me.
I kind of like, yeah, you're going to
Exactly.
get hit on the singles a little bit, but not having that double, you would hope that maybe you'll have 1 single or 2 singles an inning, let's say at the worst case scenario, but that double's probably what's driving them home. So if you get it on your chart because you're 6 control, hypothetically, they're not beating you, so everyone can roll a 1, but I this chart is pretty nice. Whereas Giovanni's,
Yeah.
they're getting that double. So I don't know.
Yeah,
This
I like
card's
this card.
I
I
like this
think I'd
card
take
better
him.
than Kenley Jansen though. I like this one better.
Yeah, that's fair.
And last but not least, well, I guess it is least. It's the what do you call it? The shame of the week
Shame
is
of the week.
yeah
Yeah.
is Nathan Evaldi, and interesting card here. Just a typical tier 3, 3 control, 17 out, 410 points, but he lets up 7 earned runs against the Yankees in 2.2 innings, which doesn't help their wild card, their chances, which I'm sure they didn't like because he's having a decent year. Not say decent. I mean, he's still not the best, but good enough. I don't like this card. I don't want to spend 410 on a 3 control, but it's gonna be such a typical 1 through 17 out card. 6 IP is nice, but 410 just seems like a lot to spend when I'm sure get a much better starter or punt.
Yeah. I'm not drafting. I don't like these kind of guys. I'm with you. He's fairly priced compared to like there's that Randy Johnson that's same exact card almost. It may
Mm-hmm.
even be identical with one extra innings pitched for 440.
Okay, so very
Um,
comparable.
so like, fair price, but at the same time, just because it's in line with the cards doesn't mean I'll draft it. I
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's weirdly, yeah, just one ground ball out difference. Or no, Randy's actually better. I take that back.
Oh,
So even worse. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
I'm not taking this card. But
yeah,
he did get roughed up by the Yankees, and that was sad. Um,
yeah.
but
I don't like the
yeah, poor
Yankees.
Red Sox.
I don't like the Red Sox either. I want the Blue Jays to make it, or frick anybody
I agree.
other than those two teams. I'll take the Mariners. I don't care.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd love that. But probably not going to happen, but that would be fantastic.
No, exactly. So, again, thank you, everyone, for listening to this week in Showdown. Thank you again, Matt, for being here. And stay tuned. Hopefully next week we'll have Jeff for week 26. Peace.
Last week.